You look really good, you know, in terms of your symmetry. The only thing I was noticing, and we'll see this, is a little bit with your overhead squat and single leg pattern. So we'll just bring this up a little bit. So we can, you know, gather quite a bit of information about your angles here. So we have a little avatar here that allows us to look at you from any angle, which is really nice. These are lidar cameras. It's the same technology with mapping with the automatic cars. So it uses infrared technology. We do see a little bit of hyperextension of your lumbar spine when you raise your arms. So usually that's a result of not enough thoracic spine mobility. So we can look at that, and then just from side view, we'll go ahead and show this. Kind of watch you from how your hips move. You have beautiful hip mobility. So that looks good, and then we can look at you from another angle. You can see symmetry, trunk side to side, a little bit of shifting over to your left.
And similar as the other tests, you guys do special prescriptive protocols to fix certain movement deficiencies.
Yeah, we're really looking
where there might be a lack of mobility.
Yeah, gives us really quick data, and then we can get people on the table and look at all these things passively, as well as, you know, perform.
And do you prescribe both exercises as well as potentially like certain variants of deep tissue work? Or physical therapy modalities?
Yeah, we do. You know, we have bodywork. It's integrative. So we have people with various backgrounds that are doing this. So we're using this for performance-based, and meaning just like really looking at restrictions. So this can dial in where the restrictions are. Then we can, you know, really do an intervention to kind of reset everything and then integrate movement right away. So it's really fast, and it really confirms what people need.
Please enjoy part 2 of Ben's interview with Dr. Beth McDougall and Mark Hines at Jyzen Labs, a follow-up to Thursday's episode. You can find part 1 along with a background and introduction at bengreenfieldlife.com/Jyzen. That's Jyzen. The show notes for this episode are at bengreenfieldlife.com/Jyzen2. That's Jyzen and the number 2. This was an immersive experience that we caught on video. So if you'd like to watch the video, head to the Ben Greenfield Life channel on YouTube.
Peak Brain in LA.
Oh, good.
I think I had like 3 done there. I spent a week there once, a full week of neurofeedback training.
Oh, nice.
They're pre and post QEEGs involved.
Oh, nice. All right, now I'm going to start checking each electrode to make sure we have a good connection. Okay, just lean back and relax. Just want to make sure the electrodes are not on. Are you on any medications?
No.
I am using a Neurofield Q21 to acquire the data. I'm going to have you take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your forehead, relax your jaw with your eyes open. Focus on a spot looking out and down. Beautiful. Okay. And we are recording. So we're going to record 10 minutes of eyes open data. And as we go through the process, I'll explain to you how much time has gone by. And then once we're halfway, I'll let you know how much time you have left. So go ahead and relax your eyelids by giving a blink. And then just go back to looking at your spot. Beautiful. You're a little over a minute in. All right, let me clean you up.
Okay.
And we are done recording, and we'll analyze the data for you.
Fun.
So this is your brain map, and I'll explain everything that we're looking at, okay?
Cool.
There's 3 different aspects we look at. The first is perspective, okay? So this is the top of your head, forehead, nose, ears, back of your head, okay?
Got it.
Each one of the second thing we look at is the frequency ranges of electrical activity that the brain generates. Each frequency range has a specific function.
Yeah.
Delta and theta are the lowest, slowest frequencies. They're why it's important to get a good night's sleep. Delta is the regenerative frequency. If there's a more recent head injury, there'll be excess delta because the brain will be trying to regenerate the area.
Okay.
During the deep stage of sleep, we generate delta. It's when the brain rejuvenates itself, clears out toxins, basically stabilizes for the coming day.
Okay.
Okay? Theta is what we generate during the REM stage of sleep. It's when short-term memory is consolidated into long-term memory.
Okay.
It's also the dream hypnagogic state. So if you wake up right out of a REM stage of sleep, you'll remember your dreams. They'll just be right. You'll be in the dream 1 minute and out the next.
Okay.
So you're more likely to remember your dreams, okay? Alpha is the awake, resting, we call it the default state. I'm awake, I can see my environment, I can choose to go back to sleep and possibly even go into theta and delta, or I can get up and start my day, okay? Beta and high beta, those are the faster frequencies. They're the thinking, processing frequency. So I'm getting up, I'm starting my day, I have to think and process. What am I gonna eat? What am I gonna wear? What time am I gonna leave? Those are all beta frequencies, okay?
All right.
High beta is more big picture multitasking. I need to leave at this time to get there by that time to pick up that time, okay?
Delta, theta, alpha, beta. Sounds like a sorority play.
It is. And so if there's too much beta, then that's too much thinking, anxiety provoking. If there's not enough beta, then it's difficult processing information.
Okay.
High beta, if there's too much high beta, that's more looping thoughts, more like OCD type.
Okay.
Okay. So the third thing we look at is the color legend. Anything that's white, green, and yellow to some degree is within a normative range, and anything in the lighter shades of blue. Okay. Anything that's orange and red is 2 to 3 standard deviations above the norm or in excess, and anything that's in the darker shades of blue is 2 to 3 standard deviations below the norm or deficient. Okay. So we see that there's quite a lot of dark blue in your map, okay? So I'm going to deep dive into that and take a look at the individual 1 hertz bins.
Okay.
And so we get a better picture of what's going on. And here we see what we call a coup, possible coup, contra coup. So okay.
There you go.
So when I see this pattern, I want to ask, did you ever hit your head or have had a head injury?
Yeah, I've had head injuries before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is...
Nothing crazy, but... You know,
well, it does...
in the NFL or anything, but yeah.
Right. But that's it doesn't have to be a concussion because all it really takes is acceleration, deceleration, because the brain's just jostling around in cerebral spinal fluid and the skull is really sharp.
Okay.
So the brain bounces off the skull and the point of impact isn't necessarily where the most injury could be. For example, my niece was in a car accident. Her stitches are here and all the bleeding's back there. That's because the brain bounces off the skull. So you can see that there's maybe more than one here. It's a coup contra coup. And what happens is when the brain bounces off the skull, it actually shears or tears the long connecting fibers in the axons. It's called axonal shearing. And over time, the brain goes into a more low voltage state. It's not, the mitochondria aren't generating enough ATP, the neural connections and the neural pathways aren't fully operating, and so it goes into 2 to 3 standard deviations below the norm. Okay. And with this presentation here, we would take a look at working with red light to start activate, like a V light, to activate the mitochondria.
Yeah, I use that every day.
Oh, good. So this probably would have been, that's probably helped. It might have looked even, and then VASPER and oxygen as well.
I use those too.
Awesome. So the other question I have for you is when we look at this presentation here, the very first one we looked at, we have what's called a diffused low voltage. Your brain is very low voltage. Were you aware of that?
People walk up to me at cocktail parties all the time and tell me that. Got a low voltage brain. No. What's that mean?
It means that the power that it's generating isn't standard microvolts. Mm-hmm. And so when I see a diffuse like this, often I want to ask, have you ever been tested for mold or had any exposure to mold or mycotoxins?
Mm-hmm.
You have?
And I've tested pretty clean and my home test clean.
Okay.
The last time I tested, it's been a few months, but yeah.
So this is where Beth might come in.
I did do a mold test last week too, but I don't know the results yet. So it'd be interesting because we'll be able to correlate it pretty well to this.
Yes, it would. But it's specifically mycotoxins because mold can present in two ways.
Okay.
As an inflammation, because the immune system is kicking in and producing glutamate, which is a fast wave frequency neurotransmitter. Mycotoxins specifically work in low voltage presentation, delta specifically. Yeah.
What if I slept a lot last night? Because I slept like 9 hours last night.
No, this is not.
It's not cute.
This is something that's established itself over time, and when I see this, that's how Beth and I began working together because I was in Corte Madera for 10 years, and I would send, when I'd see this presentation or a more inflammatory global presentation, I would send people to Beth.
Wow.
And let me show you.
So you're saying my brain could work, like I feel like my brain works really well, to be honest with you. But what you seem to be implying is it could work even better.
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
That's right. And here's an example. Here's a head injury. It's very local.
Yeah.
Focused injury, coup contre coup, like we saw.
Yeah.
Then it got better, and I was expecting it to even get better, and suddenly you see how this is diffused over the entire right hemisphere?
Like that worse.
That's right. And so that's when I sent her to Beth.
Oh.
And she tested positive for mold. So Beth put her on a mold protocol. I continued testing, and that's her brain map.
What'd you do with her?
Because by the way, she had mold before. I completely detoxed her, and then she moved and she got re-exposed.
Yes.
And so what we did was Patricia Kane protocol. The high dose phospholipids. Intravenously, followed by folinic acid, glutathione, and methylcobalamin. So you're trying to sweep the mycotoxins out of the cell membranes, out of the mitochondrial membranes, etc. Mycotoxins are mitochondrial.
Ozone can work for that a little bit too, can it?
What?
Can ozone work for that a little bit?
No.
No, okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
No, ozone could help with some fungal colonization, but if you've got the mycotoxins in there, you really need to get them out. And it's a detox type of process. So the Hocket helps with it. Of course,
we're doing the Hocket today.
We're gonna do that today. Yeah.
Gut
binders, and then you want to kill any colonized mold in the system, like in the sinuses or the intestinal tract. Okay. But the key is to sweep these mycotoxins out. First of all, you want to make sure you're no longer being exposed to mold, because you don't want to just keep coming in. Yeah. If you've established that, then you need to really work on detoxifying the mycotoxins. And the brain will tell you if you've done a good job. Okay.
Interesting. Wow. All right, well, that'll be interesting to see if I have mold or maybe it's something else.
Another good thing, too, of all the work you've done, a lot of your neural connections are very stable. There's just very few that are what we call hypocoherent, which can often happen with head injury. Okay. And so that's the work you're doing is good. There's just some fine tuning in the temporal frontal regions.
Okay. Got it. Cool.
Cindy, would you say that it would be better for him to have the oxygen while he's exercising without the hypoxia while he's
Yes.
exercising.
Yes, because he's
okay.
already
Well,
in a
that's good to know.
hypoxic state.
So I usually use probably more hypoxia
Exactly.
than hyperoxia.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you think if I'm doing like the VASPER, I should be flooding the brain more?
You know what we've
So VASPER,
taken-
they have a whole like brain O2 protocol on the live O2 that they've been mentioning to me. Maybe I'll start to do that a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
because we've
I'd like to know
decided
more about what that
here
is. Yeah.
to let Cindy. We kind of screen people for their eligibility to
Yeah.
do cell gym, for example,
Yeah.
which is intermittent hypoxic training, by having them first do a brain map. Because if you have these blue areas, it can make them a little bit worse to spend time in hypoxia.
The brain
Well, that's
can
good to know.
kind of
Mhm.
tank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It doesn't have the
It's really
fuel of-
useful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Cool.
Amazing.
Cool.
Well, good job on all the work you're
Fascinating.
doing with your brain.
Well, thanks. You're giving me even more to work on now.
Yeah, I
Okay. I want to actually like work on some of the stuff and do a retest for sure. Because
Yeah.
that'd be interesting
Or-
too,
and-
to especially if there's mold.
And I've
Yeah.
and the battery of tests that Beth does,
Yeah.
I've seen it over and over clear it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
well,
did
that's
you
good to
just
know.
do? What did you just
I
do?
just did
what
like a
did-
urinary test.
Yeah.
It's
Did
just
you
some doc
use
ran it on me,
Mosaic
but I didn't get the
Diagnostics
results
or
yet.
real-time labs?
I don't know
Do you
what they use, but I could forward the results to you as
Yeah.
soon as I get them.
Do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
All right. Cool. Well,
Yay,
thank you,
Ben.
Cindy. This is fascinating. All right. The QEEG.
Yeah.
That's
So I would
Jyzen.
say, if it's
Okay.
not cold, it could be from just a bit too much. I wouldn't give such a global appearance, though,
Yeah.
if it
What?
wasn't for some sort of widespread toxin, right?
Yeah, it's diffused there, but also
Mad cow
there's
disease.
The
another-
great news is it's so malleable. Like
Yeah.
this is remediable,
Yeah.
and Cindy.
Well,
like,
what
changes
surprises me
lives.
is like, there's certain complaints that I have as far as like, physical joint aches here and there, and occasionally I get gut issues, but
the gut
like
issues.
I honestly feel like my
You
brain's just
are
like fired up all the time.
amazing.
So it's
Yeah,
kind
Well,
of
one question I wanted to ask you: how was your birth?
I don't know.
So then it was good, and your childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
good.
mean, but yeah, it's pretty.
Because your autonomic nervous system
Yeah.
was very healthy.
I was
so-
homeschooled by a highly conservative, super clean Christian family in the fields of North Idaho. It was a pretty plain Jane childhood.
Yeah.
I
That's
would say the
awesome.
level of trauma was a definite, very small little
Yeah.
key. Yeah.
And
Can you show the autonomics?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I think
let me
this
show
is,
you.
This is
Yeah.
one of the reasons why Cindy and I work together.
Okay.
And a lot of my chronically ill patients have autonomic nervous system dysfunction where their autonomic nervous system is stuck in fight or flight.
Okay.
And Cindy,
So-
in sometimes 5 sessions, can fully normalize someone's autonomics.
Wow.
And
so
just-
here is what I specifically look at is the amygdala and hippocampus here. So these are the networks in the brain, and all the networks should come online, do the job, and go offline. And 2 things can happen. They don't come online, and then what's what we call hypocoherent or blue or disconnected. Or they come online and stay locked up. It's called
Okay.
hypercoherent. And when the amygdala and hippocampus is completely locked up, that's very often a pattern. 99.9% is a pattern for trauma of some
Okay.
sort, either birth trauma. But meditation I call it the amygdala switch. Meditation will turn off that amygdala switch, or even horses, equine therapy.
Okay.
Equine therapy is a real thing.
Okay.
And so over the years, I've seen you have a little hypercoherence here in 8 and 9, and that's just a little stress marker.
Okay. Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to start meditating on a horse then. Because I'm a multitasker.
Wow, what a concept! Let's start a
Can I
let's
just
start
say a
trend.
plug for this? Because this
Yeah.
type of personalized testing of the brain is so critical because like a lot of the biohacking technologies now are completely generic when it comes to the brain.
That's right.
Like they're doing like full brain, red light, for example. And if you have an inflamed area, you don't want to do more red light. You don't want to make it more
You have to
active.
look at the organ you're treating.
Yeah, you need to know. And then, if you have a blue area, you don't want to do too much hypoxia and things that might further reduce energy production. So we use a brain map here to really kind of design protocols for people.
Yeah, I even know some of these newer red light protocols, like the V-Light, their new clinical model, the Neuro lets you adjust
The
your
Neuro.
frequencies.
Yeah.
That's good.
I have one of those.
But
I
you
mess
have to
around with a
know
little
what
bit.
You have to know,
frequencies
Yeah.
and you have to know
to adjust.
what areas
And where.
what.
I've talked with Dr. Lim a few times on the phone.
Yeah.
We've actually set up a few protocols. I'm not as good about using that as the one that's just like click and go.
Yeah.
But I also got
Do
a
you use
brand
the
new. Like,
alpha or the gamma?
I use both. I kind of
Oh,
alternate
okay.
back and forth, and
Cool.
then I also have just. Have you heard of a neuronic? It's a red light helmet.
Yes.
I have one of those. I just got it like 2 days ago. I haven't messed around.
Oh,
with
you
much.
got it?
Yeah, I had
Is
one.
it
at home.
comfortable?
Yeah, it's
It
super
is.
comfortable because as
Okay.
soon as I got it, and again, I used it once, then I had to leave for this trip, but I
Okay.
just put the little Velcro pads on it, custom fit it, and
Okay.
that I'm
Okay.
gonna mess around with that one too. So
Because some people are complaining it's not comfortable, but
No,
that's
I
good to
don't
hear.
mind.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
yeah,
That's good to
but
hear.
of course, I also rode on.
So
bicycle
in your
seats for 20
meditation,
years, so-
just meditate on that feeling of I'm safe.
yeah, I'm safe
The call.
on a horse. Okay, all right, got it.
All right, Cindy, that is
All right.
Thank you, Cindy. Okay,
So we're ready to put the markers on.
Yes,
Now,
you can
come
go
on
ahead and
over
step off the
here.
treadmill,
okay,
and Tamara will be putting the markers on.
okay.
Okay, so.
Do you want to put the sacrum sensor on him first, underneath everything? Or do you want to do the more?
I think we should just, after, just so
Okay.
we don't have any.
Okay.
Yeah. That. I'm just gonna go up on your.
I'm coming in behind you. I'm just gonna adjust this a little bit.
Thank you for
Okay.
that.
So this is going to allow you to get like a digitization of each joint and be able to look at angles and things like that while I'm moving.
Exactly. So you just have one more.
At the
Just make sure in a straight line here.
and then up here. All right.
Ready? Okay.
Okay.
All right, so you can turn on the treadmill and begin to warm up.
Okay.
Healthy? Yeah.
And then just let us know what speed is good.
I put it at 7. So it's 7.
Whenever you're ready, we'll go up to 7 and then we'll record from 7.0. All right, beginning capture. All right, first capture. All right, you can go ahead and pause top left. This is the pause button.
Yeah.
This is your regular speed, so you can
Let's
see
slow
from
it
the
down.
side.
See the
And
mapping?
Skeletal man.
It's the quarter.
So it shows your cadence at 159.
And then what's your hip drop? Where's
A
that?
little bit of a
Pelvic drop.
striding gait. And then left and right, we have a little bit of asymmetry with
crossover.
your
Interesting.
ankles. Yeah, a little bit of crossover. And your hip extension is beautiful.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've got 9 degrees on left and right. So
Mhm.
actually, you're
Mhm.
pretty symmetrical.
Ta-da.
So
So let's
little hip motion, a little bit of hip dropping there,
Okay.
and then
and then the head oscillation, vertical oscillation is 9 centimeters. So this is your comfortable kind of running. You haven't been running, so I'm sure it will
Okay.
change over time.
Uh-huh.
Not being on a treadmill for a while as well.
and a short
Okay.
one at that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
want to try one more
Just
speed?
like faster speed?
Or
Yeah,
we-
let's do faster because things might, break down a little bit and we'll be able to see a
Okay.
little bit more.
We're gonna break you down then.
Yeah.
All right, bring me down. Break me. Okay, so back to running.
Yeah, so what speed are we gonna do?
I was at 7, so I guess maybe 8.
Okay.
Just tell me when. Go to 8.
Yes, good.
Okay.
All right, we're getting captured. Now. All right, all done?
Yes. Still overstriders, and there's the little collapsing edges.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it'll actually put you into a category as an overstrider
Yeah, we
collapse.
have like an algorithm based on
Interesting.
different things
That's
and
kinda
based
cool.
on research.
What's this software called?
This is actually Helix.
Helix.
Yeah.
Run
Helix
DNA.
3D.
Huh.
Mhm. So
And I would imagine you could do this for walking
You can
as
do this
well
for
if you wanted to
walking,
get someone's
right.
walking gait,
yeah,
which obviously for like maybe a non-athlete and someone who just walks a lot and wants to make sure their biomechanics are
I don't know if
working
the
or optimized.
categories relate to walking
Yeah.
Not yet,
more
but
so than
yeah.
running, but there's
Right.
also a bike, a fit
Yeah.
assessment as well. That
Okay.
is
Interesting.
another addition
Yeah, I feel
to
like
the
your bike knee
software.
angle and
Mhm.
knee varus valgus and things like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
And Doug Adams is the person who originated this. It's his company. So he's
Okay.
worked with Ridge Willie, who's one of the top
Uh-huh.
researchers at running
Cool.
biomechanics lab. So he's
Yeah.
doing a lot of work with the Air Force as well.
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
slick.
So gives us a lot of information pretty quickly
Mm-hmm.
with
Then-
our endurance athletes, and then we've got the Kinotech movement
and then there's
software as well. We
sacrum
could do gait
as well.
on the Kinotech as well.
Okay,
It's not quite as accurate with the
gotcha.
information.
Cool.
hmm
Interesting.
Yeah, so we can take the markers off and then we can, we want to show you the Run Easy. This is a
Okay.
sensor-based technology.
Get ready, Benny.
When you're seeing things like this, do you guys also provide prescriptive training,
We will.
modifications, or physical therapy
Yeah, it's going to be
modifications?
really
to
customized to
fix
each
certain
individual
issues.
and then
Yeah.
coaching plans and
Yeah.
we'll be able to put people on personalized custom programs and
Yeah.
really look at their weaknesses and develop a training program for them based on this. So
Okay.
customized for training and prevention of injuries and performance-based, improving performance. And what we can do is also get them on and do feedback in real time on this and actually do different things to help cue the gait
Okay.
and see if our interventions
We're the
are
test
working
smarties
Got it.
currently.
there. Yeah,
And
this should just take a couple minutes. It's not very long. So I'll put this right in the middle of your sacrum
Okay.
and probably run at the same speed so we can get the data.
Okay.
And then if you can tighten that and click that in the front, and then I'll put the sensor underneath your shorts here.
Okay.
And we'll tuck
I
this
put it-
in, it doesn't flap around, you're good. Alright,
Okay. You back on the treadmill?
up on the treadmill, let's see if we have you, let's make sure the sensor is connected to the computer real quick.
Okay.
Alright, so yeah, go ahead and warm up. We're gonna get some data every 5 seconds, so this won't take long.
Okay. That's at 6.5 right now.
6.5.
We take it at 7.0 again?
No, we're good. Just keep it there for a minute, okay?
Okay.
So we'll get some more data on you.
11.3.
Okay.
So the first test is standing at the 7 feet line. What you're gonna
Okay.
do is you're gonna hold
Like toes
here.
behind 7 foot?
You're gonna face the camera.
Okay.
So what you're gonna do is hold on to that.
Okay.
And so what you're gonna do is hold on to the bar like this and standing on your left leg
In front of or behind the neck?
behind the neck.
Okay.
So level. And just like a hurdle, step an imaginary line to the 6 foot level.
Okay.
And so you're gonna raise your left foot and bring it,
Towards my left foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
and then bring it over like you're hurdle stepping and drop your heel down, but don't touch it to the floor.
Kind of FMS style.
Yeah. And then come back up. So we're gonna do that on the left and right leg.
Okay.
Okay, so that's kind of, we haven't recorded yet, but we'll tell you when we're gonna be
Okay.
recording. And you wanna do this pretty slow,
Okay.
okay? And
Sounds
pause when you get down and then come
Okay.
back at it.
All right.
Ready?
And record it.
Ready?
Good. Do that a little bit higher, raise your left leg up to about 90 degrees. Yeah, there you go. And then lower, and then come back. Beautiful. Do that one more time.
Okay.
Good. You're done with that leg.
Stop recording. We'll go to the next one.
You're going to do the same thing on the right leg. The right leg will be moving.
Okay.
And step over the imaginary hurdle.
Okay.
Right,
Dropping your
and-
heel down to the ground. Nice and slow. We'll do that 3 times.
Go ahead.
That's great. Good with that.
Okay.
And that's one.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so the next test, Ben, we're gonna do a squat, and this allows us to look at how well your hips are moving and all of
Okay.
your joints. So basically, feet shoulder width apart,
Okay.
hands come out, arms forward, and then go as low as you can and pause at the end of your squat, as low as you can go.
2 steps.
Pause for 2 seconds and then come back up. Great, let's do that one more time. Beautiful.
All right, and
Good.
then I'm going to begin the recording. We'll do 3 squats.
Okay.
And go ahead.
Same as I just did?
Yep.
Good
Okay.
job. Recording now. Okay.
Okay, awesome. And then we'll do an overhead squat. So same test, but the arms remain overhead the entire time.
Okay.
And then go down as low as you can go. And
Okay.
then pause for 2 seconds. Let's just do one for review and then we'll do a couple.
You can have palms with each other. Or you
Yeah,
can...
just yeah, that's fine.
All right. So I'll be recording with 3, right? And begin.
Very good. A beautiful squat there. We'll see.
Single
And then we'll do
leg.
single leg squat. So you're gonna keep your hands on your hips here.
Okay.
And then at that, is it 6 or 7 feet line on that one?
That is the 7 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll just come over and hold here and then do a single leg squat as far down as you can
With the leg behind me or in front of me?
behind you.
Okay.
You can bend the heel back towards your back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just do 2 reps on this one. It's
Okay.
fine.
Ready?
All right. Recording. Go ahead. Good. All right. And then we will go to the next one. 1 second. Left leg. And begin. Perfect. And then, is that it? We got shoulder. Are we doing the shoulder?
Do thoracic rotation.
Rotation,
And then we'll
yeah.
do shoulder flexion, I think.
Okay.
So we're gonna bring this chair, we're gonna have you sit on this chair on the mat. So we're gonna move this over, have you sit here. And then the test is just basically sitting, squeezing your legs together, arms up at 90 degrees and rotating as far as you can
Okay.
to this side and then to the opposite
2
side.
count pause on each rotation.
There you go.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's like sit and be fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you'll do, let's go 2 times each side,
Okay.
each direction. Go ahead, rotate, pause for 2. 1, 2. Other side.
One side.
Yep. Right side. Right, and then last but definitely not least,
Yeah, and then we'll just have you
Shoulder
stand
flexion.
on the
Okay.
7-foot line. We're just gonna have you do shoulder flexion, so just looking at your shoulder mobility, how that integrates.
Okay.
So basically just up,
Just arms up overhead.
yep, and then pause it for 2 seconds. We'll do that 3 times.
Which direction my palms face?
It is
Towards
basically
each other.
towards, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
towards us.
alright, ready?
Uh-huh.
And begin.
Yeah.
Do one more.
Okay.
You look really good, you know, in terms of
Mhm.
your symmetry. The only thing I was noticing, and we'll see this, is a little bit with your overhead squat and single leg pattern. So we'll just
Mhm.
bring this up a little bit. So we can, you know, gather quite a bit of information about your angles here. So we have a little avatar here that allows us to look at you from any angle,
Mm-hmm.
which is really nice. These are lidar cameras. It's the same technology with mapping with the automatic cars. So it
Yeah.
uses infrared technology. We do see a little bit of hyperextension of your lumbar spine when you
Mhm.
raise your arms. So
Yeah,
usually
I see
that's
that.
a result of not enough thoracic spine mobility. So we can look at that, and then just from side view, we'll go ahead and show this. Kind of watch you from how your hips move. You have beautiful hip mobility. And that looks good. And then we can look at you from another angle. You can see symmetry, trunk side to side.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of shifting over to your left.
And
then
similar
we
as the other tests, you guys do
Mhm.
special prescriptive protocols to fix certain movement deficiencies.
Yeah, we're really
areas where there
looking
might
at,
be a lack of mobility.
yeah, gives us really quick data, and then we can
Does
get
that
people
include-
on the table and look at all these things
Yeah.
passively, as well as, you know, perform.
And do you
know,
prescribe both exercises as well as potentially like certain variants of deep tissue work
Yeah.
or physical therapy modalities?
Yeah, we do, you know, we have bodywork, it's integrative,
Yeah.
so we have people with various backgrounds that are doing
Yeah.
this, so we're using this for performance-based, and
Yeah.
meaning just like really looking at restrictions, so
Mm-hmm.
this can dial in where the restrictions are, then we can, you know, really do a intervention to kind of reset everything and then integrate movement
Yeah.
right away, so it's really fast and it really confirms what people need. So
Go
we
back
have
to that overview of all the
So-
different exercises. I want to look at that again.
So your
Yeah,
visit
it's like
summary.
shoulder flexion, could use a little bit of improvement maybe.
Yeah, and that's based on
Uh-huh.
a little bit of your lumbar spine.
Yeah.
The thoracic extension is
thoracic.
a little bit
It's
of a
interesting
problem.
how it breaks it down because you wouldn't know whether it's shoulder mobility or thoracic spine unless you actually had the ability to visualize it.
So
like
you're in
this.
the red. So it's quick and easy.
Yeah.
Gives us measurements that would, take a long time to do. Traditionally, and then we can then look at your thoracic rotation and see. Normally we want to see a range of 35 for athletes, 20 to 35. So you're right around there. But like
and then
to
what's
see a
that
little
one on
bit
the
more.
bottom that was a little orange? So all the numbers look pretty good, but the shoulder flexion looked off a little bit. And hurdle step right.
So let's look at that. That's you stabilizing on your left leg. So the leg that was moving was your right leg.
Right.
So consistent
So
with.
that's the one where that was the one that felt buggy too a little bit. And that's probably left
There
knee
you go. And we can see
instability due to some previous left knee injuries.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay,
Because
so
I could feel that left knee just buckling a little bit. So
you see a little bit of
a
valgus.
little
You
bit
going
more
into
stability.
valgus with your knee and a little bit less hip control, a little bit more pelvic dropping on the left. So it identifies what we need to do is to get those areas back online.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so pelvic and hip stability are a little bit of a factor for you
Yeah,
there.
and thoracic mobility on some of the shoulder stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Isn't that cool?
That's fascinating. Super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to me like it's a pretty good assessment to do, especially when you combine with the movement over on the treadmill.
Yeah.
I like it. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Wonderful.
showing that to me.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing.
Looking pretty good.
Wow.
And then we, you know, do some manual work and get you moving even more.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Wow. Cool. And this one's called the Kinotech.
This is Kinetech.
Kinetech with a K.
3D motion
2 Ks.
technology. Yeah.
Cool. I like
Right.
it. And then you guys, I imagine, keep all these files on hand and you can retest people.
Yeah, we're retesting
reevaluate.
almost every time,
Yeah.
because it's so easy. So we can do that right away.
Yeah.
We usually
Cool.
do it every time they come in.
I like it.
All right. Do you get a lot of body work?
I don't know
Not
what
enough.
a lot is.
Not enough.
Probably,
Once a week?
probably average once a week.
Very good. Yeah, so you look pretty healthy. Just gonna check a couple things based on your assessment here. Tender at all? That's
No.
your right.
Not really.
Okay. Right. So I'm just gonna check. Up here. Yeah, pretty healthy tissues.
Thank you.
Yeah. So. Yeah, thoracic spine. We certainly could do that, but stabilizers are always a little funky, right? When you have a knee issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say you have more fibrosis on this side and a little bit less mass on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
So what I found with the shockwave, it has a neuromodulation effect on the tissues as well. So you get some analgesic effect and you get a lot of kind of breaking up of the myofibroblasts so that fascia becomes more relaxed and more extensible.
Nice.
So you get some collagen
Okay.
formation and an inflammatory response, like stem cell activation. So it's really, really good for old chronic injuries as well as something that's actually needing to be worked on faster in an acute situation. So let's get you on your side and we'll just show you what that is on the left side and we'll just kind of get you comfortable on your right side and we'll shoot your left.
So
with
lay
the
on
camera.
my right side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if we can put your, how's this?
Good.
All right. So we're just gonna put you here and then we're probably gonna need to move the machine just so that we're in the right situation. So if you're comfortable like that, put this underneath here. Put these on again. Lift your leg for me. How's that?
Good.
Yeah, shockwave in conjunction with the manual myofascial work is really transformational for people. We're able to really help people quickly and they can see the results really.
It's called myofascial shockwave.
This is radial pulse shockwave.
Okay.
So it uses a high pressure pump to push the waveform into the tissues with ultrasound gel.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Is it similar to all that device called the TRT?
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay.
This is Curimax technology from
Okay.
Switzerland.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna just put a little gel on here and should be fairly comfortable. We're gonna start really low where you're comfortable, so give me some feedback.
Okay.
And after about a minute or so, you will find that it gets a little bit more comfortable.
Okay.
So what would be interesting is to treat this and then do the work and then retest your squat and see if there was a change. All in the same session.
Mm-hmm. I've also done the Gainswave shockwave therapy for the men's sexual health. Use like a shockwave therapy for that also.
Yeah, that's
in the pelvic
awesome.
Regions.
Yeah. Very successful too, right?
Seems like it, yeah.
So how is the pain level on a scale from like 0 to 10? How comfortable is this?
Pain?
Yeah, how much pain do you have? Okay. So we want to get it up to about a 3 or 4. So I'm just going to bring you up to a higher level so that we get more intensity to treat the area. This radial shockwave goes about 5 centimeters into the tissues.